everybody? How we doing? Um, my name is Julian Roy, and welcome to Theme Park Rants. This is a podcast where we rant about theme parks, but we not only rant, but we also talk about news and review stuff and all that stuff. So, this is just basically a channel for anything theme parks. I'm your host Julian. My co-host Joey couldn't make it today due to him basically celebrating 4th of July. He likes to go out and spend time with family for that, which I respect. So, yeah. Anyways, in today's video, we're actually going to be talking about some breaking news because today is the day that Six Flags and Cedar Fair finally confirmed their merger. I don't know. This is like they finally confirmed it because I think last year they spoke about it, but this is like the first time where finally like this is going down. In case for the people that weren't aware, I think a couple years ago, Cedar Fair announced that they were going bankrupt. Many companies were trying to buy them. In fact, I believe SeaWorld was one of the parks that were considering and buying, which would have been a very interesting deal. But Cedar Fair declined and instead merged with Six Flags. Now, obviously, for the people who know Six Flags, you know that even Six Flags were in deep jeopardy around that time. So the fact that they got to merge together and create one big mega corporation, I think is just a good it's just a good thing for both parks. Um, I'm very happy that they were able to get things the way they were able to get things down over there. um, so yeah, yesterday, from the timing of this recording, July 2nd, 2024. Yesterday on July 1st, Six Flags basically announced their full merger in the new parks that they currently own. So let's actually show that. I'm gonna pull up my Twitter here real quick. So yeah, exciting news. Cedar Fair and Six Flags have officially merged into one amazing company under the Six Flags name. We can't wait to welcome you to one of our 42 parks across the US, Mexico, and Canada. So yes, uh, basically now it's just one big mega corporation. They own a fuck ton of theme parks. Excuse my language, but they own a buck ton of theme parks here. So let's look into this because this is actually super cool because now you got a couple theme parks up in Canada. So for instance, for Cedar Fair, you got Canada's Wonderland, but then in Six Flags, then you have La Ronde. Now, what is it? Six Flags has Six Flags Great America, and then Cedar Fair has California's Great America. So that's cool that they're back together again. And then look at Ohio here. Where's Ohio? Where are you, man? You are somewhere up in the map. My geography sucks. Yeah, here we go. Sandusky, Ohio. So you got Kings Island, Cedar Point. Oh yeah, I forgot. Wait, there's no Six Flags in Ohio. I forget. Yeah, I look stupid here. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'm trying to see some parks here that have like both the Six Flags and Cedar Fair stuff. I don't think there's a whole lot, but over here, like in central US here, yeah, you got Cedar Point, Michigan's Adventure. Um, let me look up here. Oh yeah, and then obviously in California, it's just like full of the Six Flags and Cedar Fair stuff. So you got Discovery Kingdom, Great America, Magic Mountain, and then now Knott's Berry Farm. I did not know there was a Hurricane Harbor in Arizona. But yeah, this is some cool stuff. This is some really cool stuff here. You know, at the end of the day, this is again like a great merger for both Six Flags and Cedar Fair. Now, one big concern is actually the prices because now that both parks are together, what is going to go on here? Because obviously Six Flags had their pass. I don't know exactly what pass they had. I think it was like a platinum pass or whatever, where basically if you bought the pass, you have full access to every park. But now that they have Cedar or the Cedar Fair parks, how much is that? How much of an increase is that going to be? Because obviously now you have both the Six Flags and Cedar Fair stuff. Um, I'm not going to get into prices and marketing and the markets and all that stuff, but I'm just saying like that's one concern. But yeah, let me look at this stuff. So yeah, obviously this guy says here, can I use season pass for all the parks? He says, hi, at this time, 2024 Diamond Passes, Six Flags Plus, and all legacy memberships, including Diamond Elite memberships, may only be used at the Six Flags parks. Will my membership work for Cedar Fair parks? Obviously not really the same shit, right? But yeah, that's definitely gonna be something that's gonna be interesting next year. But one thing also is that's pretty cool is that now you can see this that I think the Six Flags parks might now have the Snoopy stuff over there, which I think is really cool. I think Six Flags needs more kids intellectual properties over there, so that's definitely something pretty cool. And then same for the Cedar Fair parks. I mean, Cedar Fair I think will also. Well, I hope they don't do this, but like Cedar Fair could use like some of the DC stuff. Personally, I don't want that to happen. In fact, in my opinion, I want both Six Flags to kind of get rid of all their DC stuff. I don't think like because the one thing about Cedar Fair is that they are very very good with like their theming for roller coasters. Um, for instance, you have like Mystic Timbers. Um, I'm trying to remember some other ones I can't name off the top of my head, but I'll just throw pictures on the thing on the video just to show you guys like how good like the Cedar Fair theming is, and I think that's something that Six Flags needs badly because in my opinion, one thing I'm not a big fan of when it comes to Six Flags is that they just make decent roller coasters, but they just slap like a DC property on it, and it's just like, come on, you could do better. You can do better. Like that. One thing about Cedar Fair is that yeah, like they actually like have decent themed roller coasters and attractions that I think Six Flags really really need. So I hope they take advantage of that in the future. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, let's say Cedar Fair wants to open a brand new park. I'm not sure if that park is going to go under the Six Flags name or if that's going to go under the Cedar Fair name. My assumption is that it would actually go under the Cedar Fair name since it's technically a merger. But I'm not too sure. If you have better answers, write that in the comments below. I actually kind of want to know. Now, obviously, Six Flags definitely has a very, very optimistic future ahead of them because one thing I actually want to talk about as well here is their events for their horror events. So Fright Fest, they basically announced for Fright Fest that they're going to have 4 new intellectual property houses. Let me pull this up real quick. So I believe about a year ago, Six Flags announced that they were going to do 2 haunted houses that contained some intellectual properties. One of them being Saw, and then the other one being The Conjuring. I believe I could be wrong. Um, in the haunted house and like the horror event community, um that definitely surprised a lot of people because that's not really something that a lot of people expect, especially from a Six Flags park. So obviously, definitely lots of optimism from there because obviously you if they kept doing what they're doing, the parks could definitely expand more when it comes to the intellectual properties. Plus, the only theme park to ever really use intellectual properties for their horror events was what was it? Universal for Horror Nights. So this is definitely some really really optimistic news. And then not too long ago, basically what was it? Six Flags announced that they're going to bring in 4 new franchises to their parks. So let me just go down here. So the first one was Stranger Things. Um, the next one was Army of the Dead. Then the next one was Trick or Treat, Saw, and then The Conjuring. So that's 5, not 4. My apologies on that end. But if you notice here, there's actually a couple. In fact, there's actually 3 properties that I believe were at former Halloween Horror Nights events. One was Stranger Things, which is the biggest one. I'll get to that a little later. Another one was Trick or Treat. I think that was for Horror Nights 27 and 28. Or no, was it 26? Yeah, 27 and 28, I believe. And then Saw, which was in some events back in the 2000s. And yeah, like this again. So yeah, obviously, like it's really interesting to have how they brought in Trick or Treat this time of the year. And then it's cool to see Army of the Dead also get a house. Um, but the biggest one I think out of all of them was Stranger Things. If you notice, for several years, I want to say starting from 28 to 20, I think from 28 to 30, I believe. Um, what was it? Universal had a pretty tight deal with Netflix in having some of their franchises at the parks. Obviously, you had the Stranger Things stuff, but then another one was what was it, haunting of Hill House, I believe that's the name of it. Sorry, my I was not prepared. I was not prepared making this video. My apologies. But anyways, um, so yeah, I think those are the two franchises, at least that from what I can recall, that were at Halloween Horror Nights, and it seemed like they were gonna keep doing that for many more years, but for a while they just kind of stopped doing that, and many people question why, and I guess this is why here. Now, I'm not gonna say that Netflix isn't tight with Universal because I'm pretty sure if they have the chance, I'm pretty sure Universal will have make another deal with Netflix. That's the thing about a lot of these companies here, is that just because they're not making like rides over, or they're not bringing their intellectual properties to Universal, I don't think that means that they're not on good terms. It's business at the end of the day. Obviously, for some of them, like The Conjuring, obviously, like there's something going on where like they're probably not tied together. But like I could totally see Trick or Treat, come back one year, or Stranger Things again. Netflix bring back more properties into the Horror Nights. Like it's not like I can't see that. Time will tell, obviously. But um one thing that kind of gets me though is that there are some fans being like, "Oh my god, like I worry for Universal. Like this is some bad news for Universal." And I'm like, "Why do you care so much?" Like at the end of the day, right? Like we're winning. Like the only people that's winning here is literally like the general public, because now we can literally go to what is it, Six Flags, and we can go on the Conjuring haunted house, do Army of the Dead. I love the Trick or Treat houses. Like I would love to see that again. And then obviously they're bringing their Stranger Things house, so it's like that looks pretty cool. I would love to see what Six Flags does for that. You know, and then on top of that, like just imagine how many more properties they can get into Six Flags. Like for instance, Scream. Like that's one thing that a lot of people were wondering about what was going on with that. Um, and yeah, I could imagine Six Flags having the Scream properties over at their parks, and then because they're combined with Warner, look at it. That's a haunted house that I think many people wanted to go or see at Universal, but obviously couldn't because there's something going on between Universal and Warner. So we could probably see it one year at Fright Fest. So like it looks very, very optimistic. And then on top of that, I can just imagine, like, and hope if Six Flags can get ahead on this. Obviously, Universal is known for their deals with celebrities and having haunted houses or scare zones dedicated to them. Imagine Six Flags getting ahead of that and getting people to do that. And low key, like if they do that, I think they're in real competition with Universal. Obviously, they only have these 5 houses. Universal has about 10, which again is kind of interesting because technically they usually have about 5 haunted houses that, excuse me, have intellectual properties with. So technically they're pretty much on the same plane with Universal. Another thing I also forgot to mention was I forgot Army of the Dead is also a Netflix property. So it looks like Six Flags is kind of also basically it looks like they're taking advantage of the Netflix properties that they could use for the parks, which is something that Universal didn't really do much of, because again, it was only Stranger Things, or at least specifically Stranger Things, and then the Haunting of Hill House. It looks like Six Flags is going to take, or will take, some advantage of the Netflix properties. One property that people wanted to come to Universal, or at least from my personal experience and awareness, a lot of people wanted Fear Street to come to Universal, because there was I think around 2020, 2021, Fear Street was a very, very popular like little mini series that was on Netflix. So imagine Fear Street coming to Six Flags. So yeah, definitely lots of properties. I'll throw in a little bit more on a little pictures through here, but yeah, again, I imagine Six Flags taking advantage of the Netflix properties that Universal could have done. I'm very excited when it comes to Fright Fest. Joey actually lives pretty close to Six Flags. Uh, great adventure, and this is one of the parks that's going to have basically these houses. So let's see if we can get Joey to go over there, check that out. It would be very, very good content for the channel. And yeah, so I'm very this is some good news. This is some really cool news when it comes to that. Definitely let me know how you feel about this. I'm sorry if I wasn't prepared to make this video, because I wasn't. I'll definitely be a little bit more prepared in the future, but let me know your thoughts and opinions on the comment section down below. Please subscribe to this channel and follow us on Instagram. Links will be in the bio and description. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.